So we're going to give you some questions here to start off with. Hi, welcome back to the Sheridan Campus, Trafalgar. From the last visit, we've been working towards a report on a wayfinding study as well as creating some video documentation for content. We want to convey a more personal experience of the wayfinding journey, so your side of your thoughts, your opinions, your feelings of the overall experience.
Well, when I did it the first time, I was moving too fast. So that makes me think I should relax and enjoy the process, forget the product.
I really enjoyed that although you were following, you weren't giving me hints or guidance or directions, that you were simply observing. So that felt a little empowering. It's like, okay, I've never been here. I've never, I didn't actually, I haven't done a post-secondary education experience, so have limited experience on campuses.
It was a long walk, as best I remember, to find the library. I had to go through a fair number of buildings. The signage was terrible. It really wasn't an easy flow whatsoever.
Really impressed by the campus too. It was my first time coming to the campus, and I said, boy, this is a hidden secret for me.
No, it was an interesting experience. It was also different because I've done wayfinding at a hospital, so seeing it here was different. At first it was a little frightening. It's been a long time since I've been on a campus, and not knowing what your signs are. Like you're used to certain, like road signs or hospital signs, or, you know, your signs are a little bit different. It's not wrong or anything, it's just, you guys know when you're going around as students or as teachers working here, what to look for. Whereas I'm like, okay, the color coding, what does the color coding mean? I'm sure there's things that you don't know as a newcomer coming in.
Become more aware.
You know, it's about the same, but I'm much more aware in the sense of lately I'm working on a transition to letting go of using my car and using public transportation.
It has. In part because I worked in the hospital, and also having looked through here, now when we go into different places, I'm thinking, oh, they don't have a door open here. They don't have, you know, yeah.
Yeah, I think I check out signs and notations a little more carefully. Not that I Bruce Trail a bit, you know. I mean, I love traveling, hiking, and finding my way, especially with a map.
Okay.
All of the above. Okay. But asking for directions, I probably wouldn't remember the steps as well, where if I see it, I'll remember it. Well, for example, if I have to go somewhere in the car where I've never been, I will look it up at home and see it. I don't have hardly any paper maps anymore, but I will look at Google Maps or whatever.
Well, I was really used to using maps to navigate for a long time, most of my life. But now with the technology, it's really different because I can, even when I go to the museum now, to the AGO, I use my phone to figure out how to walk from the subway to the museum.
So it depends whether, my mode of transportation, okay? If I'm driving, I'll simply plug it into my GPS on my phone and plug the phone into the car and Google Maps will get me there, okay? If I'm walking, I tend to look at the map first before I leave home and say, oh yeah, I see where I will have to go left, right, and to get where I want to go, and I sort of take note of street names mentally, and then I'll walk.
Interior, I would look at something on the wall, like if you go to the mall and they've got the "You Are Here" sign, and then if I couldn't find it, then I would ask someone.
Well, before you just waited in the car and hope a tow truck or somebody would come by and ask if you needed help. But it's so different today. But the technology is better in that sense because, you know, you've got your phone, you can phone for help. You're not as stranded as I used to be. I always use landmarks when I'm in the larger shopping areas to figure out where I'm parked. Sometimes they're numbered, other places they're not. So I'll either look at the closest storefront that's closest to the parking so that when I go in the doors, I know that I can walk to that storefront and my parking aisle is in that section. Because see, the D is here, but I don't see D1. I don't see the sub numbers. I just see the big numbers. See, the white against the dark blue here is visible, but outside it's not as visible.
If I don't see a landmark that I'm used to, not necessarily in that particular story, but you know, I'll be driving along and I'm like, I didn't see my landmark. That's my first cue that I've perhaps wandered. Either I've driven too far, I got busy. You know how when you're driving you can get in your head and you drive right by things like, oh, yeah, I haven't seen my landmarks. Maybe I'll turn around and go back. So they are important.
Landmarks are wonderful. Yes, so you say at the Shell station or at the church, you're going to turn left, right, or wherever. Same thing here. Once you pass the cafeteria, turn left. Or whatever the landmark might be that's here.
Not so much in buildings, unless it's a building that I'm unfamiliar with, then I'll try and pay attention more so I remember where the doors and the exits are.
Well, I wouldn't navigate by some fancy tree. It might not be there, but yeah, I usually use whatever landmarks I can find, in Aurelia. Everybody has to walk to the big statue of Gord Lightfoot and make a left there.
So unless there's something significant here, like there's a bell that you ring when you go past it at the end of exams, or something, that's something that's memorable.
Yes, now that I know it doesn't make sense. It's kind of helpful to have that mindset.
Yes, yes, because I'm more familiar with the signs and now I know a little bit more about it.
If it hasn't changed, the answer would be no.
Since last visit.
Yeah. So.
Oh. It was too confusing. It was.
Yeah, I think I'll figure it out, and if I don't, I'll ask questions. So I'm comfortable,
That's great to hear. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So. Okay, so you kind of relied on the signage more for that.
Yes.
Nobody was here at the time?
Yes, and this isn't a spot necessarily that you're going to have someone all day.
Right.
But for if someone doesn't know about the door there and they got dropped off here, they'd come in and say, where's a claim? There's no signage.
So the main entrance that we were aiming to get to was this one over here. It's down there. But you were standing over here, so technically this wouldn't be in this.
You wouldn't see it, and I wouldn't have known to come this as the main entrance because I only know that one from dropping off my son. But this doesn't show. You don't have the S isn't here.
Big S, right?
Yeah,
It's another,
yeah.
We have two main entrances, but the big
I wouldn't
S.
have known that had I not done this whole thing.
That big communications center, that really stuck out because I was looking down on it from the balcony.
Well, I like these signs are big, the numbers are big, easy to see. Again, I'm looking from an older person's point of view. I noticed the change in flooring. Also being able to look out the window, that's also landmarkish, that you can remember that you walk past kind of this, I don't know if I want to call it the park area, but a nice sitting area like that, so, you know, and putting the bikes there. I don't know how many of these are along here, but, and the different color coding as you go along is good.
I don't find the signage very good. Like here, which way do I go? Do I go left or right? Doesn't tell me.
When you ask the question, I think the first thing that came to mind is when you're walking through a place like this, there's a lot of signs. And how do we keep straight which are the wayfinding signs versus the door labels versus the posters about upcoming events versus the fire alarms and the, you know, I don't know if I'm working up to having an idea. I don't think I am, but I'm guessing that for some people, relying on perhaps the color or the shape of a sign can help with wayfinding.
They're not really friendly, okay? Like I've said to you before, like, you know, I see up to 108, no, where's 10, not there, you know, okay, go that way, so I went that way, and then stood in front of the library, and I asked somebody at the library, I said, you know where? Oh, no, because I had already at that point left the E-wing, and I was in C, but I didn't realize it. Okay, I didn't have any idea that that's what I'd done, so, yeah.
Well, yeah, you can't miss the big sign out there, the big map.
So the scale of it is kind of what leads you there?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
No, I think the student population is quite aware when, like just now, we had the experience they moved over because we were walking through. So that's all good. That's a nice awareness for students to have.
You're in this E-wing and you're looking for 210, so if you came up this hallway, seeing that you would go around, but if you're coming up this hallway from here, you can't see that sign. You wouldn't see it till you got right to the edge where you would then go left, right. You'd see it. You'd go around like that. Right. Well, when we turned left there, I kind of don't know where this hallway was going. I didn't really look if there was any signage, but I kind of think this was where the Learning Center is.
Yes.
I assume because of all the lights and being able to look down there. But that wasn't maybe well marked back there.
Where?
This one here.
Where? Where does that tell me to go to the library? Where does it tell me to turn?
So at the time we gave the C-wing, it was on that card. So it didn't maybe directly say library.
A-B-E-G-S-R. No C. No C.
No.
No C. If I look down here, yeah. But up here, it tells me these are the places I'm going.
Right.
It doesn't say C. wanted me to go to learning services, and that's a physical barrier. And as I stand here, I see no way around it.
I think I would make it as open and welcoming as the Commons.
Okay.
You know, a lot more, yeah, much bigger entrance. Of course, for security, they don't want that.
Oh.
More glass, like here, so that the importance of the printed word is still magnified through the presentation of the library.
The thing I had the hardest trouble with was the staircase, because it's really hard for me to do stairs with my hip, and I have COPD, so you know I lose my breath faster than normal. So those are things that, you know, if there is an elevator, then I would need to know where they are. So
Okay, so it helps to know where they are, and
Yeah.
you would take it if you.
yeah, if I would take it, yeah.
Okay.
We really have to stop and look at the signs. To me, the signs are not logical. I find them really hard. The campus I find really hard to navigate.
Definitely the signage should be very specific, you know, because we just went over that with the library versus the library commons, the learning center. So that would be helpful. The colors, like I can read better inside than I can outside. So for a visually impaired person, that would be a struggle, you know.
I think I could ask anybody walking around for help. I don't see a big map in what is obviously a travel-through hub. So, yeah, how come there's not one here?
As effective. Yeah, the path. Because if you miss one sign in the path, you can be horribly lost. It's the same system here. If you miss one sign, you can be horribly lost. Yeah. So that's what they have in common. Yeah.
I know at the hospital, if you're really stuck, you can ask at the desk to take you somewhere. Because I've seen people do that. So that's sort of a wayfinding system, because there's a lot of volunteers, and if you know, you can always ask a volunteer, you know, is this the right direction, and they'll answer you.